My name is Roger Rufino Vargas. I go by Rufino. What I do is I'm essentially in the professional bit world. I have a holding company that does many things. My predominant industry is oil and natural gas, but we are in the tech space as well, and we do some real estate and a bunch of entertainment things. When I was younger, I was in entertainment, and I've been in bands. I've had record labels. I've had studios. I've had all kinds of stuff. So I've always kind of been in the entertainment space. In addition to that, I've always been an athlete, right? So when I was younger, I was an athlete, and I played pretty much every sport. And the one sport I excelled at the most was bowling. And so I achieved some cool things in bowling and did some amazing stuff. I got to meet some amazing people, got to travel all over the world doing that. I started out doing some podcasts with some friends of mine, and just kind of out of the house, bought some equipment and stuff like that. And never really ended up doing anything with it, but then once I started connecting with some of my friends that are professional athletes, that's kind of when it turned into what we're doing now. It started with me and a buddy of mine essentially doing like our own little TikTok videos talking about professional sports. And actually that came about because when, like you might see in our little promo video, we were supposed to really be working, but technically we would just be sitting around for like hours talking about sports all the time. And we often would be like, we need to record this, right? Because like we would like truly break down and go into like deep depth, like it's like division by division, team by team, and we did that a lot. And so it kind of, I would like to say was the original iteration of it.
What do we call that? 3-minute drill?
3-minute drill, yeah, that's the name of it, was the 3-minute drill, right? So, because at the time, TikTok would only allow you to post 3-minute videos. So we would have a 3-minute video of a quick rundown of each division, right? And we did it for many, weeks of the football season, every division and every team. And so we did that for a little bit, had a nice little following. I think we would get several hundred views consistently, and our engagement rates weren't too bad on it. So that's kind of what gave me the idea of like, okay, I think this actually can work, because we had really good engagement and we had, a steady amount of viewership. But one day I got to connect with Raymond Felton. He's a former NBA player, number 1 overall, or first round pick, number 3 overall. Great guy. I mean, I owe him honestly everything when it comes to kind of what I'm even doing now with the podcast stuff. And we decided to put something together since he was post-career, and he was kind of doing some branding stuff and kind of helping him and helping me and build our brands and kind of get out there together. And, we started it, and, it's kind of turned into what it turned into. Through that, I got to, obviously, like I said, work with Raymond Felton, former NBA player. Got to bring in Derek Holland, a former baseball player for the Texas Rangers. And, what's cool with Derek is I remember his career. I'm a big Texas Ranger fan, so I got to follow his career. I got to see his infamous, if you will, World Series, pitching contest. I don't know how to say it, but just the time that he pitched in the World Series, and it's known as one of the greatest outings in World Series history. And so getting to talk to him about that and stuff like that was really cool. We also brought in, and you're going to see him in these future seasons, but in this next season, but Stephen Ocho Peterson, he's a UFC fighter, so we got to bring him in as well. I've got to meet Alden Smith. I've got to meet through again, one of our other partners, Slim, knows a bunch of former NFL guys, and so I got to meet some guys through him as well. And the podcast is like really parlayed into a lot of really, really cool stuff. And we've known a lot of people in the entertainment business, and since I've been in the entertainment space, we've decided to do some crossovers. So not an athlete, but somebody that's a lover of sports and a lover of hockey. We had Brian Schlegel on, so it's now allowed me to kind of bring him in as well. The original concept was to do motivation and inspiration, telling real life stories of athletes, of what it took for them to overcome whatever they had going on in their lives to get to where they were at as a professional and post-career. So one of the biggest things for us was, being able to kind of share that motivation, share those stories, to inspire people to continue to keep going forward, right? I think the biggest problem, if you've ever owned a business or if you've ever done anything on a high level, and you look at those people that have the talent but never fulfill their talent, it's a lot of times it's keeping themselves motivated and inspired to continue to keep going. So our big thing is we hoped we could inspire not only young athletes, but collegiate athletes and even professional athletes to continue to keep doing what they're doing, right? Especially since a lot of the athletes that we had on or were bringing in were post-career, right? And so being able to tell those stories and continue to be able to do that, especially here in season 2, is very important to us. And then one of the big things for us was not to say to break up the monotony of just talking solely about those stories and everything like that, but we have this concept and idea of essentially being able to how could we engage some really good questions while having fun at the same time, right? So we decided to have this form of, and it's interesting, we always say this is our show is ridiculousness meets sports meets motivation. Essentially that's where we kind of came up with the idea, which is let's add some sports related videos and some fun even related videos, as well as Twitter posts and stuff like that, where we can watch them, comment on them, and then even still relate them in forms of questions with the athletes of what do you think of this, or how do you feel about that, or how does this relate to you, or is there anything in your career that this kind of relates to? I'm excited about season 2 because season 2 is going to be all about us bringing in all these other athletes and all these other people, getting a chance to have them tell their stories and having them be able to kind of show that they're just like the rest of us, right? And how they can relate with you guys and how they can do what they need to do, even not just while they're at the end of their career, but even post-career, right? Again, they're just like us, right? And so being able to tell those stories is actually really cool. And again, yeah, just being able to meet other pro athletes, and getting to have a chance to have them kick their feet up for lack of a better way to say it, and just relax and have some fun watching some videos, telling some good stories, and helping everybody get inspired by it.